God, it looks like a war zone.
It's the epicenter. I have unleashed a wickedness that waited centuries for revenge. This is what I released you from, Edward. It's coming! To the park, now!
Guys, I wanted to do a video to cover this, even though I haven't heard it on the news in the last couple of days, because there was people were doing protests and all that, like a school walkout for the one dude who got shot. But on a separate note, before all that, there was a thing about, I didn't hear anything else come of it, but on TV news, kids were wanting to do this big, massive walkout in the name of the environment, you know, to demand change, you know, for shit about the environment. So I'm not doing this video to trash anybody. There's extremists out there that are way out there. I used to listen to Jim Quinn years ago when he was on my local radio. And then, you know, Alex Jones, he was basically banned now, but I saw him on Joe Rogan. And I'm saying that I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I don't disbelieve, and I'm not going to trash somebody that wants to do that in the name of the environment. But some people have their heart in it. A lot of it's a bunch of kids. They want to follow along with the other kids, and it's like to be part of the big show, you know, the bandwagon. But I'm not saying they're all like that. But what I want to say is I don't disbelieve. I'm not against what the kids want to do. But what I want to say, my take on it is, okay, what added to my imagination, any of these guys out there that, unlike the people that are always checking out the latest video games and all that, and I want to do my fitness stuff based on video game characters. I want to do more of that on YouTube. But anyway, I'm one of them guys that older video games, one of the very few people. I have a few friends on there. If you see this, you know who you are. Yeah, you're getting some new video games and maybe you have a bunch of Let's Plays, but I'm one of them guys on there that don't always say so on YouTube, that religiously into maybe a video game that's kind of old. And one of my favorite video games was the Alone in the Dark. They call it Alone in the Dark 5, where he's in Central Park. Lots of intentional symbolism for environment and zombie apocalypse and apocalyptic shit in that video game. You may want to check it out or check out some of the Let's Plays on there for it. And it added to my imagination, you know, in certain ways. You know, you get in the video game all kind of oil slicks and shit coming out of the ground and a live earthquake that's demon-possessed and shit. But anyway, to be fair with these kids that want to do this, let's see what really is true, not just conspiracy theory, that we're walking on razor blades that we need for civilization, but yet maybe it's a double-edged sword because, you know, you can't depend totally on solar. And some people say there's a free energy out there that you can shut all the oil businesses down. And I've heard it. I've seen that stuff about Nikola Tesla. There's a thing about they can harness this world's magnetic electrojet or some shit. But then there was some people say that's madness. You can destroy the whole world with it or make the world start spinning too fast. I don't know. You want to look at shit up. It's just interesting stuff about Tesla. Yeah, there's something out there, alternative energy out there. I don't disbelieve. I mean, it's just as believable as the fucking little tablet things that we have now that we're talking on these tablet computers. Remember when I was a young kid, I saw the movie Dune. Paul Atreides was on this little tablet looking at this planet where the bad guys are, and the planet where the spice is, and the planet where the Harkonnens, the bad guys are. We didn't get that far in space yet. We may get it. You can't say it can't happen, right? So far we never got past fucking rockets going up there that can explode. We haven't got anything that can warp or fold space yet. I wouldn't be surprised it's coming. So tech, you know. But well, the tech we have does radiate waves. I believe that. There's no conspiracy theory. There's pros and cons to it. Cell phone towers. You don't want to get as crazy, even though you're not as out there like Alex Jones when he was on Joe Rogan on that clip I saw on YouTube. I mean, yeah, he's really ranting there, but He's part right. Even though you're not an Alex Jones person, I'm not here to say, to stick up for Alex Jones, but it's part right. Yeah, we like our little cell phones. They do. Power lines. If you ever walk around trails and power lines, you know, for any reason, you know, there's these trails, or some of you people know somebody that ride little dirt bikes or four-wheelers down these trails that have these power lines. You walk around in the woods. There's a shortcut to go to your friend's house. Quiet, you can hear that humming. Those power lines, and you ever see, they radiate an energy. You're walking under, if you have a little house under it, little by little, it causes health problems. Yeah, yes it does. I saw on, you can even look it up, there's probably a thing on YouTube, but I saw on TV where these insulated power lines, if you get within so many feet of them, you know, there's a thing where they go in a helicopter and ground it out. You can get fried, you know, uninsulated. They radiate, you know, not just touching a wire, it radiates. And you've got things like mechanisms for subway trains and trolley subway cables that run on cables and that. Not even just touch it. You get within so close to it, it radiates, you know what I mean? And if you want to see about that HAARP, H-A-A-R-P, the acronym, you may say that's a conspiracy theory or whatever, but if you check out things on microwaves, I mean, you know those like Navy ships, the radar going round and round like that? It radiates microwaves. I knew people that said they were in the Navy or something, read about it. If you're up there with that is on, if you're dumb enough to go up there, it'll kill you. There's a certain amount of microwaves will kill you, just like that. But then we can be exposed to microwaves. We're exposed to radio signals that mess with us. You know, you might even hear humming in your ears in your sleep. And I was telling a guy I worked with somewhere one time, did you know your microwave, what it was? There were some of them old microwaves still around. Most of them have been junked now. I worked in a scrapyard. Some of the ones that were actually still working for, they were throwing them away. But when I was a small kid, there were still, some people had them. I had one mine was in my barely 20 years old when I had my first apartment. The older, big clunky microwaves. And some people still had the books to them, whatever. The microwave used to be called a radar range. So that microwave, it's producing that heat. That's radar waves cooking your food. I don't know if you guys know this, but a microwave used to be called a radar range. But like, I know they have in radar, you know, smaller, they found a way to make safer doses of radar, you know, for cars now. They can sense if a car is too close, the brakes to stop, or beep when a car is about to hit you. They got shit now that's like the newer cars, like that radiates radar waves. I mean, it can be causing health problems to everybody slowly, but we're around it all the time. Electrical wires, they radiate something for the power lines. Yes, they fucking do to a certain extent. And before I get to some of the other stuff, yeah, one of my favorite video games, yes, we got a thing about fracking. There is a thing where they pump that water underneath there. That water, they're pumping that underneath there, and I seen a whole documentary on it. The ground just settles back in and just makes everything rumble. And then and now they're saying it's, you get a lot of limestone on our continents now that supposedly deteriorates away with water. And the natural water, when it rains in places, different places get different amount of rain, it's deteriorating slowly. You get natural sinkholes, but they're saying now, not just earthquakes, you know, you're fracking. Yeah, we need fucking natural gas to stay warm. We don't want to fucking freeze to death. But yeah, you do away with, you know, oil, petroleum, natural gas. Nobody's going to fucking drive a car. Even the environmentalists, extreme environmentalists, oh geez, they're still driving cars. But not that I'm trashing them, it's still a fact. You know, and even your fucking battery-powered cars. Guess what? Them batteries have toxic shit in them. And batteries, and what I've seen on the news, the cars were catching on fire. Cell phones, like what I'm making this video on here, the newer ones, they were exploding in people's pockets, almost burning somebody in the groin. They had a cell phone, the batteries are only this big, and these fucking tablets and cell phones. Bad batteries. They actually, somebody's brand new car burns completely up, caught on fire, you know, and I guess, not that I'm so happy, there was grounds there too that somebody could sue the manufacturer of that battery to pay for their car. batteries for these toys, these hoverboard thingies, burn somebody's fucking house down. So battery power, electric power ain't the whole fucking answer either, now is it? So what the hell are you gonna, what can you do? You know, there's a, like, so you're kind of damned either way, you know what I mean? And there's like places where these countries, they can't even, don't even have enough of rain or water to grow anything, and population getting so damn bigger, you know, I mean, everywhere, and through wars and everything else, and people running to other countries, whether you're judging any of them as good and bad, it's irrelevant. Mass movements to these other countries, no place to put people, and then people can only hope someday that you can get rid of the people that they're running from, and somebody can start business ventures in these other countries where people can support themselves, have companies, and create jobs. But same place, well, geez, you don't have enough of water there to build anything anywhere, even in this country you're in, whether you're in Canada or Europe or anybody listen from this. The more population you have anywhere, and everybody has kids and different things, for every new housing community you build up, like, because I was just working one of my assignment jobs I go to, especially summertime, where I showed on YouTube, I'm walking in these new built houses, and I don't know if any of you guys seeing it, I could, every single place where you put a new community, you have to have a place for your turd water to go, for shit to go, you know what I mean? And then you have to have water supplies, and I worked one time in a place where they try to say it's spring water, but selling purified water is a big thing now, because you got to wonder where the fucking water you're drinking is, even your bottled water. So I've worked around equipment where they're purifying this water, and hopefully they're getting all the toxic stuff out of it, and they're selling you bottled water, because some cities you really can't drink the water from your tap at all, not at all. You know, there are places there you can't, you know what I'm saying? But so, you know, there's, you know, we're these earthquakes, you know, you got, you know, our own country. Well, there's a thing, you know, not that I'm doing Alex Jones a conspiracy theory, but Alex Jones even, well, you can check it out. There's a thing where our government does have a clause, you know, that they can declare whole communities abandoned. Well, geez, if you have a big cataclysm, well, they weren't even ready for Hurricane Katrina. Everybody was in a freaking stadium. I don't think you can, no matter what you do to prepare for anything of that magnitude, a major flood, earthquake, there's never any perfect solution. It's not. You can hope for the best. But there is a thing where, yes, the whole city gets abandoned, completely abandoned. Yes, there's an executive order. They could just shoo everybody out and find a new place to put and declare something abandoned. Well, I'd say if you got this far in the video, I've seen YouTube videos. Well, one of them things like Exploring with Josh and all them people explore abandoned buildings. There was an episode I looked at and all kind of different videos about the town in Pennsylvania, my state, upstate, or somewhere in a part from my state where I'm living in. A town called Centuria, Pennsylvania. Well, that was sitting on a big coal mine or something. Somebody supposedly was burning garbage, whatever the fuck it was, burning garbage. The whole damn town underneath the ground was on fire, and it was literally cracking, and supposedly one of the things about it I seen that somebody's kid just disappeared into a hole. But the whole fucking town did have to be abandoned. I don't know if there was no executive order. There don't have to be. Everybody will fucking leave anyway. There's no way anybody's going back, you know what I mean? But yes, we have abandoned town like Century as one example. Natural disaster. You can have coal under the ground. It can catch on, just like anything catch on fire. Lightning strike, or whether somebody does it on purpose to have a whole forest fire that has to be contained. So much shit that can happen. I was looking at Glenn Danzig on a YouTube channel called Jonesy's Jukebox. He was saying that a lot of these forest fires, he was calling it terrorism. Somebody was just matching gasoline, doing it on purpose. But I to an extent, I believe in that. So that's gives me the creeps to think that somebody can do that. I mean, when I was a young kid, fucking 10 years old, I seen things on TV where supposedly whole forest fires, supposedly somebody threw a cigarette or a cigar out the car. They're not trying to cause a fire, but it caused the whole forest fire. Look how fucking easy that is. But yeah, so there's no conspiracy theory. There's shit that's happened to a certain extent already to make massive amounts of people homeless. Shit going on in the ground. Like Century up PA, it was all coal under there, and then you've got places that are... So much of this country, it gives you the creeps that has limestone underneath, and if too much water is introduced beyond the natural rainwater, it goes in the ground. Limestone just deteriorates, but when you're, like I said, fracking, if you introduce water that shouldn't be there, sinkholes, you know, and God knows whatever else is going on, you know, I mean, too. Okay, oh, and one thing I wanted to cover, too, I should say in another video, I mean, before some of you guys that know me, don't turn the video off, it's just too much talk, long fucking videos. I wanted to say the nuclear thing, I should do a separate video on that. Well, geez, there's no... It's a double-edged sword. Like, you had Chernobyl, and then I was hearing in our TV news, they're talking about 3 Mile Island. 3 Mile Island, they had a near meltdown. They could have had a Chernobyl at this 3 Mile Island. And then a few years back, over a decade ago, I'm not counting off the top of my head, Japan had a near... Japan could have had something like a Chernobyl, but it was caused by an earthquake or something like that. And I think if you would look it up, I'm wondering Japan, that part of Japan, if it's ever the same. But, so you have a Chernobyl, you had the 3 Mile Island, it could have been a Chernobyl. You had Japan that could have been a Chernobyl. And I saw a documentary before that thing happened in Japan that our country and Japan, they buried that nuclear waste from that shit. I was seeing a documentary, there was some guy in Japan, he used to have a farm with his prized spinach, and it become a burial site for the nuclear shit. So if you got this far in this video, you got this thing where they're burying all that nuclear shit, putting it away underground in bunkers, and they're burying the shit. How fucking long are people going to be able to do that? So I'm not an environmental fanatic, but I'm somewhat a doom watcher. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But not trashing anybody either way. But, you know, I'm kind of influenced by one of my favorite video games, you know. I'm one of the people out there that have a cult following. We have beliefs. Not entirely religious fanatic. Bash religion, but we have some cases partially occultic or ritualistic beliefs of our own and superstitions of our own, if you want to call them superstitions. Some things that you gotta wonder, did it influence everything? Leave that door open, you know, without being accused of being a conspiracy theory or a religious fanatic or an environmental fanatic. Just, there's a shred of something, look what's out there to be fair. You can give something some thought without being accused of being a conspiracy theorist or this or that. There's some fucking shit that is creepy. Trying to be fucking fair, you know?